The other one is delayed. So Agge versus Zimme. Now, of course, Agge recently signing up here with North, a very close relationship here with FC Copenhagen, and of course Zimme representing Roma Fnatic. Again, just two huge names in esports overall. The teams that they're representing, of course, Agge certainly one of the biggest legends in the FIFA scene. Zimme, he's been around a while and has certainly showed he can already do stuff, as that is a nice early save coming out from Zimme.
Yeah, speaking about the FIFA legends, if there was a Hall of Fame in FIFA, I'm pretty sure that August would be mentioned up there. I mean, he's been around for such a long time, and we see also here a great chance. And Zimme, I first played him actually in FIFA 14 in offline qualifier in Sweden. I was like, who is this kid? And we matched up in the group stage. I think he was 14 back then, and that was the year when I became Swedish champion, and he actually beat me in the group stage when he was 14. So this is a wonder kid who never really got his big international breakthrough. You could argue last year surely in Gfinity he was doing bits, but in the Champions Cups he hasn't really, I think, showed his true level. And we can see if he can do it here in Bucharest.
Now, I remember back to FIFA 17, I think it was the DreamHack qualifier, which was kind of the first event all the way back then, and that was another great tournament for Zimme. But we'll see in this one, as you mentioned, it is a difficult task for him up against an in-form Agge and a surprisingly confident Agge, which is, so as you said, we normally see him being very humble. He said he may just win this one, and he started off this game with some real purpose about him as well there. R9 slotted it into the top corner.
And we're seeing here what he does so good. He's so good with the skill moves and always trying to think what the opponent thinks and doing the opposite here. And he's also starting to find also that green bar on the time finishing, which is so important here in FIFA 19, which we also seen throughout this tournament. And looking overall, these players, the gameplays, they have actually completely different styles. Zimme always tries to go forward as quick as possible, just use as low time in every attack as possible, while August is having more of a, let's say, traditional style of FIFA, maybe a bit more patient, slower build-ups, even though we're seeing August this year in online especially having a more faster gameplay. But always when it comes down to LAN tournaments, he always shows this more patient side of August, which actually brought him to glory many times.
Do you think either one of those styles is better fit to FIFA 19 than the other?
It's very hard to say. I think after all what we see in the first months, I think the fast build-up is rewarding a bit more, trying to maybe go for the risky choices and trying to maybe use as less passing as possible for the build-up, and just always trying to get yourself in that position where you have a chance for the finesse shot, and as soon as you get there, just instantly shoot. While August, maybe, even though he gets into this position, he might take 1-2 extra passes or some extra skill moves.
And we're seeing here from Zimme as well. He's going to take the shot and will bury it right from the edge of the box. And that kind of just demonstrated everything you were talking about. Zimme in that position after 3, 4, 5 passes and no messing around on the edge of the box. Side-footed straight into that top corner. And what a comeback here already for Zimme. We never really got around to this at the start of the game, but if you had to call a favorite for this one, do you think there is one on paper?
I was speaking about it briefly, that I think that August is a slight favorite after looking at the Nordic qualifier where he won versus Zimme last time. So I think he has a small mental edge at this moment, but always at LAN tournaments everything changes, and this far it's a very even game.
Big ball into the box there, may still get it, and in the end will fall into the hands of De Gea. 33 minutes gone, 1 apiece in this one. And if you're just joining us, don't forget we are playing those Swiss system groups. So in this one is a match which whoever wins will be going through into tomorrow's playoffs of Zimme. Just trying a cheeky through ball there. Neuer already brought out though. As I mentioned, both of them are 2-1. At the same time, since we are in round 4, there are also games for players who are 1 and 2. So kind of the opposite for those guys. You know, if you win, you still have a chance to stay in. If you lose, though, they're going to be going out. There's a goal kick.
Also checking here their formations. It looks like they are matching each other with the 4-2-3-1, which is definitely the most common choice. This tournament, I spoke about it previously, it offers so much of variation. You can play in different different styles. We have Zimme here with the fast build-up with the 4-2-3-1, and we have on the opposite side August with a complete different way of using this 4-2-3-1, which has been dominating this tournament.
Is that the beauty of it, that you can play it with different styles, that you can be a little bit more flexible on your game plan despite having that same tactic?
Definitely yes. If you're looking at FIFA 18, I would say that the most dominant formation was the diamond 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. And this year the driven pass is not as powerful, and that was kind of the key in the diamond last year, the very fast and powerful driven pass to be able to just break through the midfield. And now it's different. You have to use more of the width also with the 4-2-3-1. It offers 3 different camps, so you have more chances to connect the midfield and attack, while in the diamond, of course, you only have 1. So I think that is why 4-2-3-1 is such a popular choice this year.
So into the end of the first half here then, we are of course playing 2-legged games with an aggregate score, and obviously if we're all tied up after those 2 legs, then extra time and penalties will be needed, which has actually not happened all that much today, funnily enough. I think we saw in the in round 3 a couple of games that went that far, but I think generally we've been fairly settled after these first 2 legs. So here we go then, second half underway. Zimme and Agge starting off this second half of the first leg at 1 apiece. Couple of subs coming in, Ronaldinho and on for Pele there. And a quick start here by Zimme, and he's going to take the shot. And, you know, seeing that green arrow above an R9 on the edge of the box is always a scary thing, I think.
Something that Zimme is so good at is really perfecting these new features. We're seeing this year using La Croqueta a lot, and also really using the time finishing perfectly. I think he had 2 clear chances, or not even clear chances, he had 2 positions in this game where he had a chance to go for a shot, and he did it both times perfectly, hitting the green bar and scoring twice. And I think that just shows the importance of using time finishing.
Oh, a bit of a mistake there possibly at the back, maybe panic work from Agge trying to clear it, which leaves some space for Zimme to work around here on the edge of the box. There's the turn and the shot, nice. And again it's perfectly done.
That was a bit surprising. I was actually thinking that he would whip it instantly here with R9, but he made that extra turn. You can see also how August was over-moving his goalkeeper. That's something that we've seen a lot of time this tournament, that the goalkeeper movement is actually usually hurting you, because the players after last tournament in Paris was always going for the far post, but players are learning, okay, the opponent will always move towards the far post, so let's just go for the near post. And we're seeing a lot of, let's say, easy goals where players over-move the goalkeeper very early also, and it opens up a huge space. And maybe sometimes you could argue, is it now with player knowledge maybe even better to just cover the near post?
Oh, chance here though for Agge, going to take the shot, and it's an easy slot away there by Ronaldinho. And I want to go back to that because I think that's sort of a mind games thing, right? If we started out there, as you mentioned in Paris, everyone moving to one side, and now everyone's kind of saying, okay, that's what they're going to do, is shoot in the opposite direction. Question is then, you know, do you move your keeper into where you expect that they are going to then shoot? And then it becomes this kind of almost guesswork in the end.
Yeah, but we saw all 5 goals in this game were shots towards the near post. All 5 goals. And they're just trying to, well, you see once again, near post. You know, the meta is changing. This is something that maybe after watching this first day, if you're still in the tournament, you could trying to analyze and think, okay, the near post finishing is actually at this moment even more common. So maybe I should try to move more towards the near post. And we're seeing once again goal number 6 near post.
4-2 for Zimme. Big reaction there to that last one that just went in. Of course, on the right-hand side, you can see some stats popping in for everyone. who've played their game so far throughout this morning in the Swiss group stages. And NRASECK, one of the big ones there. And for me, that goals for average always interesting to read. I think we're averaging there around about 4.5 per game. If you look at that one, there's the pressure from Zimme, but Agge actually giving the ball away on this bottom side. Let's see what Zimme is going to do from here. He's going to take the shot. Actually, not sure that would have hit the target anyway, but he got the deflection from it nonetheless. Whipped in. Keeper there as well. He's going to fall on the edge of the box to Cruyff, though. And that was sailing goalwards. Again, knocked behind in another corner here for Zimme. Again, whipped in towards that back post. This time, though, it will be Holly up there who will be able to get that one away. Some dangerous moments there for Agge.
Yeah, and I think now he's starting to speed up his attack a little bit. He's trailing with 2 goals. I still think he has a lot of time left to play for. You see there a nice one this time towards the far post, and that is R9, a nice build-up. Interesting though, he's using not the prime version of R9, and I actually asked him yesterday why, and he said because I have this version 94 at home, and I'm just used to him. And sometimes team knowledge means more than to actually have the best players by stats.
How much does that, you know, affect you? I mean, you can give an example of your own, you know? I mean, is that... are you ever going to feel, let me put it this way, that if I'd have picked the prime version, that may have gone in, or that may have been different outcome to this game?
Perhaps, yes, but you have to make a decision before this tournament. I mean, you are very well... well, you know exactly what it's going to mean if you don't pick the best version. But I mean, from my experience also, and I think a lot of players also feeling the same. Like when you play weekend league and you are maybe adding a new top player, the first 5 to 10 games with him, you can feel like, oh, he's actually not that good. It's because you're not used to him. It takes time to get used to the player's attributes. And sometimes, like I said, it's actually better to go with the things that you know about.
So some direct play out of danger there for Zimme. Actually, he's going to find space. I think the last man won't quite be reached there, though. Will be played out. And D Loco, we see your tweet there at the bottom. Next year on FIFA, you'll see me being a contender at the FIFA E World Cup. Remember, I told you, I've written your name down, and I'm going to come and find you if that doesn't come out to be true. In fact, no, I'm going to send Jimmy around to your house. That's even more of a punishment. So, can Agge bring this one back? It is 4-3 to Zimme. He is pushing forward here on the edge of the box. Henri Vieira. Nice bit of build-up play, but where's the hole? There it is. Takes a shot. De Gea this time, though, is going to catch it.
I think it's definitely possible for August to come back. Zimme is a fantastic, really amazing attacking player, but the part that maybe he could improve is his defense, and that's been his problem for many years. He's not at the moment the top 15 defensive players in the world, and if you want to become a champion, if you want to win big tournaments like these ones, you really have to have, like I said before, a solid defense. And yeah, this is far from over. I think always will have a lot of good chances to get back in this matchup.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those. It will be a great time to score just before the stroke of full time. We'll get a second chance at this, and even a third there as Henri lays off to Vieira. Now Ronaldinho on the edge of the box. That pass almost cut out, but possession here crucially still with Agge. What's he going to do? Will he take the shot here? No. Continues to try and find a better percentage. Now with Hully on the edge of the box. He does take the shot there. Opposition's Hully is down. There's a tackle. It's not a foul. Ball not taken out of the box, so again it falls to Hully. This time, though, finally Zimme will deal with it. And it looks like that may just be enough to keep the lead from the first leg.
This has kind of been August's problem this tournament, that he sometimes overplays it. If this was Zimme, I mean, August was attacking for 5 in-game minutes. During this time, Zimme would probably finish 10 times. And it feels like it's not always rewarding to try to find these combinations in the box, since actually it is more efficient to go for these long-range shots. And I think in this sequence August showed us that he was kind of overplaying it a little bit. Of course, he wants to get this equalizer before this second game, but you have to try to be direct in FIFA 19, and especially in the last third of the pitch.
And there's a chance here maybe for Zimme to make even more of it, though. 2 defenders in front of him, and that will be the end of this first leg. So it is a 1-goal lead for the Swede in this Scandinavian battle. And a fantastic game it was to watch as well. 8 shots apiece, actually. Couldn't really have got much more even across the board.
Very even game, and that is also something that you would expect with the two guys who played twice this year, and they kind of know each other's play style. And I was actually, though, a bit surprised with the scoreline. I was expecting maybe less goals, but I would say that also both players were very effective at scoring a lot of their chances. And if some feedback for August maybe next game is to maybe try to shorten his attacks a little bit.
Okay, we are going to be taking a little bit of a look over to another game, and that is the game that we originally said we were going to follow, which is Tact versus Gravesen. This one, obviously, we talked about before, is a knockout game. And as you can see there, Gravesen leading this one 3-2 in the dying moments of the first leg. So we'll keep an eye on how this one all goes. And I know a few of the guys on the couch, of course, predicting Tact to win this one, which we'll see how Gravesen can turn this one around. As we mentioned, had a great time at the Continental Cup in Paris. Not quite enough to win that one, but certainly went far in it. And showed us that he certainly is capable. Right now, he is the man with possession as well. And as I say that, well, he wins himself a corner in his dying moments of this first leg. Let's see if he can do anything from this. Where will he go with it? Taken short. And I think at this point he may just be happy enough to have that possession running down and go with that goal into the and that goal leading to the second half.
Yeah, and also seeing here Tisak, the way that he was moving his goalkeeper during this set piece, and I also saw Mike breaking this down, but I haven't seen actually anyone in this tournament going for that far post corner. Which I tried at home, and it is working, and it's something that you really should try to using if the opponent is moving the goalkeeper a bit, well, let's say too much towards the near post, because the far post opens up, and if you have a big man towards the far post, you have a great chance of scoring, and especially in an open net. And we have one. We have 4-2 Gravesen, and the timed finish once again. Maybe not necessary from that area, but like I said, it is some kind of a muscle memory with the German shots in FIFA 18. It was exactly the same. I did it every shot because it was simply just a reflex.
Yeah, I think once you kind of learn that kind of that kind of mechanic in a game, then it also becomes automatic most of the time, which may cost you in some positions, but I think generally the way that things are working right now, it's probably better that way than the other way around, right?
Yeah, and the thing is that if you always hit the green bar, it's never going to cost you anything.
Exactly.
But we're seeing Gravesen and getting this 2-goal lead, and that is massive. I mean, the difference from having a 1-goal lead, which it can easily be turned in that second leg, he has a big advantage now in this second leg. And we're also going to jump back now to this matchup, the Battle of Scandinavia. We have August Zimme, and the first leg, of course, finished to Zimme's favor 4-3. Yeah,
4-3 was a very close one. Actually, it looks like we've got action right from the get-go. Zimme continuing to play in the yellow. Agge switching over, though, to the blue here for the second leg. Let's see what former world champion can do to get back in this game. Striking early would certainly give him a big confidence boost. And there is some more direct play here. It's Eusebio, and it's just dragged a little bit wide there. Actually, there was deflection on it, so in the end, you can say credit to whoever got a hand on that one. Or a leg from Zimme. He's going to be whipped in towards the penalty spot. 2 defenders there, though. Not out of danger just yet. Here's Pele. Where does he go from here? Just trying to squeeze his way through. I think that's no, it's not another corner. It actually went straight out of play.
Trying to see here if August made any changes to his tactics. Looking at the radar, it looks like he's sticking actually with the 4-3-1, but having his side cams, the left and the right cams, and a bit more attacking positions. I think he is letting them to stay forward to have better chances of counter-attacking. And this is a good chance for Zimme.
Route 1 action that we've come to know from him already in this game. Ball bobbling around. Neuer does get there first of all. I want to talk a little bit about the radar while we've got you here, because I think this is a great opportunity for a lot of newer players to learn a little bit from you in a second, because there's going to be a shot coming off. Neuer was off his line and will knock it wide. But how important is that radar?
I think it is very important, and especially if you want to take the next step in FIFA. For example, if I get 1 versus 1 and I have a long run, which of course you have a limited vision on the screen and you want to see if the opponent's goalkeeper is running out, and I'm always checking the radar very fast. Is he sticking to the line with his goalkeeper, or is he moving forward? And that is some extremely valuable info. And also when you're trying to switch sides, when you're trying to find maybe a long cross pass from the defense, there are so many sequences in the game, so many positions where it's very rewarding to have a good, well, to check the radar and see how your players are positioned.
You saw there an attack from Agge, not quite finding its man. Zimmer also went fairly direct. That didn't work out. It is now, though, Zimmer who briefly had possession. You see, that possession must be around 50-50, just the way that this one has gone back and forth so far. There's a searching through ball towards Pele on this bottom side. Bit of build up. There's actually a defender down in the box, and you know, that's something that happens when the AI clatters into each other, and kind of you see there's a man down there. Oh, shot coming off. That's going to be saved though. You see that, you know, a defender and a striker, or sometimes two defenders, have ran into each other and one's down. Does that change the speed that you're going to push to try and make your play into the box? Is that something you notice usually?
Well, if you're at the top level, you have to pay attention to everything. And this first is a great chance. And there we have also here showing this early cross, the R1 cross, which is one of the, I say, maybe the best crossing technique in FIFA 19, the low cross. But yes, when it comes to having the vision, which we just spoke about recently with the radar, it's the same thing. You have to pay attention to everything. You have two eyes, but you have 11, actually 22 players to check, because you also have to check how the opponent is moving his players. And having the vision is one of the, well, I'd say one of the most important traits when it comes to distinguish the best players.
There's a ball through towards Ronaldo. Ball going to be whipped in.
Oh,
there's Hullet. Oh, he's ran a little bit too far from that. I think the pass off the header.
That's something that I really love to see. I also saw Chian doing the same versus Aubameyang. When you get into this position, you have this cross, you get a good chance. Instead of just instantly going for that header or volley, you can just check first. Do you have any better options to maybe go with the flick? And we're seeing here, very nice. He flicked it to Hullet. He had an open chance, but Hullet really couldn't find the balance. That was a great play from Zimme.
Ball through. Again lost by Agge. And some nice space on his top side for Alexandro. Dispossessed though, almost instantly there by Hullet. Now it's Agge. There's space for Ronaldo to push CR7 through. Will keep play at his feet as well. Now Vieira on the edge of the box. Where does he go from here? Just trying to find a hole in Timmer's defense and doesn't find it.
See, sometimes it was the same in last game. It takes sometimes a bit too long for August. He had a great chance here, but he was doing 2-3 extra passes, and Zimme had time to get his defense in the position. It's not really paying off for August to making these extra passes, because Zimme is a player who's playing very, very low defense, and he's very safe there, and he's enjoying this well, these passes from August, because they are not threatening him.
Playing into his hands here, maybe. Find the back heel there. Another Ronaldo. Again,
we're also seeing completely different games. The first game was flying, and now probably a bit nerves from both players. Of course, the fact that first year we're going to see Zimme with Vieira. You see, he goes for the shot instantly. And I think that is something that also August should do versus Zimme. But yes, a lot of nerves. Either you are guaranteed to go through to the knockout rounds, or you are in big pressure going 2-2. This is a very, very big game for both these players.
Yeah, I feel like it's the most nerve-wracking game that you can ever be in, that 2-2 scenario. You know that it's all down to that one game. Of course, that's the case if you are kind of 1-2 as well, but I think in this one, yeah, sure, you win, you know that you're going through, but it's more of a pressure relief and not having to play that game when you're sat at 2-2 and fighting to go through into that next round. Ball will fall to Hullet there again, but again, it's De Gea that goes down, gets to it, and we are at half-time now in this second half, in this second leg, sorry. And honestly, as you said, 2 different games. This one slowed down a little bit, which you might feel like plays more into the hands of Agge and his play style, but that just hasn't seemed to benefit him at all.
Yeah, but I think also somehow this, well, how this game is unfolding is still a bit logical, since Zimme is usually the more attacking player, but here in the second leg he's trying to defend his lead. So he's playing much more defensively than he usually does. There is a mistake in the build-up play, but he repairs it with Cruyff there. Interesting to see Cruyff that low in his team, and that just shows his mentality in this game. He's trying to defend with all possible players, just trying to keep this 1-goal lead against Agge.
I think pass accuracy would be an interesting stat to see for this one, because it's been sloppy at best at times. Now Agge trying to find him again. He's snuffed out, but as quickly as I can say that for one player, almost exactly the same on the other side. This time though, Agge building up and again looking for those clinical passes, despite, you know, having an R9 on the edge of the box where you think maybe worth a pop.
But just look at this, the way that Zimme defends, and that is something that always has to use. And here's a mistake first, and that is devastating. Just trying to complement Zimme's defense, and then he makes this huge error. But yes, the way that he's defending, that he is rather trying to cut off the passing lanes and to actually apply pressure on the ball holder. And this, of course, makes it harder to make these passes into the box, but also makes it easier to find the position to get the target, the shot. And that is something that I want to see August using more once again, because Zimme is leaving big space sometimes when August is on the ball, and he can easily get punished if August is just trying to tweak up his gameplay a little bit here.
See then if now with that kind of pressure on Zimme here to score in 90 minutes, whether he goes back to that more aggressive style that we've seen from him. Currently though, it is Agge with possession. Walker. Not great on accuracy. That one will be slid away from.
I'm seeing now that Zimme is once again upping his aggressivity in the defense. You can see here that he's much more eager to get the ball back quickly. That is actually, when I see Zimme when he plays at the best, he is being much more aggressive in the defense, and I think that was actually hurting him in that first half.
Oh, the keeper coming out there, and that almost certainly saving Zimme there. Space up top for him to run into though. Can he change things around? Not with that one. Now it's Agge to have a run of his own. Henry still looking fairly fit after being brought on.
Something also that is, I mean, a big thing is so hard in FIFA 19, especially in FIFA overall. We saw the same in FIFA 18. It's hard to keep a 1-goal lead. I mean, I think maybe after all Zimme was going defensively too early, and now he's going back to his gameplay that he had in that first half, and I think that is the way that he's actually going to beat August. Even though he was defending very well in that first half, he somehow stopped to attack, and that is a big trap.
Here we go, big ball down towards CR7. What can he do from here? He's going to skip past one man. Will cross it over. Oh, and I thought that was in as well. Henry just off the bottom of the post, or just a few centimeters wide of it there. And that was a little unlucky for Agge. That would have certainly changed the dynamic of this one, made Zimme have to go all that more aggressive. But here he is. What can the Swede do? Pass wasn't quite there. Agge. Now, for a more experienced player, are you more inclined to take things into extra time?
Perhaps, yes. But I mean, Zimme is also experienced after all. Like I said, he's been around for many years. First time I played him was FIFA 14. And I would say that both these players are experienced, even though, of course, August has been around for much longer, and he's also been on this stage, the top stage, more times. But I think actually that we might see a late decider. Did we see any games on the stream this far going to extra time?
I don't think directly. I think we switched to 1 or 2 that have happened that way, and certainly has been not many games so far that have gone all into extra time. And I'm pretty sure we've not seen any penalties, at least yet, although I'm sure that's to come at some point. Here's Neymar managing to get a run. Going to be a pause coming in, called by Agge, but the passing, the clearing's not really there. Can he get a man to it? Here is Hullet. He's going to take the shot, and he's put it in as well. Into the bottom right-hand corner. 81 minutes gone, and it's Zimme who regains the lead.
That is something that you can never do. And that was the same thing with Zimme when August scored. You can never lose the ball in your own box. If you don't have the option to go for a safe pass, just clean it. We've seen it so many times this tournament. You're losing possession in your early build-up play, and that is always going to get punished on this level. And we've seen it twice in this specific game. You have to be much more cautious in the build-up play.
So, what can Agge do to keep himself in with a chance? You see there, switch up to ultra defensive. Of course, we don't know exactly what that might mean, but my feeling is that it means something certainly along those lines here for Zimme.
This is also experience from Zimme, trying to make this clock go fast. And something that we also saw in this goal, that Zimme is using the driven shot a lot, which was the most effective timing. Wait first here. You can see August.
Is this his chance to get back into it? Takes a touch. Oh, and he's put it away as well. Amazing. Brilliant stuff. 86.5 minutes gone. And Agge, just when you thought he may be down and out in this one, is going to bring it back. And look how he did it as well.
Amazing. Just that one extra touch, the fake shot, getting him into the perfect position. Sometimes it is hurting him to overplay it, but when he does it the right way, it looks so nice. But yes, once again, the driven shot, which we saw was being very popular in FIFA 18, is somehow I've seen it being back with the timed version, because the regular driven shot in FIFA 19 is not as accurate. But if you do a perfectly green bar timed shot with the driven shot, it is actually super effective. And we're seeing it, Zimme doing it in this tournament, and also when I played him last week, he did it a lot of times, and always hitting that green bar. Perfect timing.
Now he's pushing as well. 90 minutes already gone. This could be the last chance of the game. Can Agge win it all here? Ronaldinho in towards Hullet. Henry managing to get through to CR7, doesn't see his opportunity. It's cleared out, and we're going to be going to extra time. And at the bottom there, you can see an important fact. The magic number is indeed 3. Remember that basically this year as a whole, because these Swiss group stages, it means if you win 3, you go through. I guess you could always say the unlucky number is at the same time 3, because if you lose 3, then you are out of the tournament as well. But we are headed in towards extra time now. We speculated that that might happen. You know, Agge in the very dying moments doing incredibly well for it.
Yeah, and getting that late equalizer is devastating for Zimme. I mean, he had this game in a nice box, scoring that goal after August's mistake. But he tried to, well, play on the clock and didn't succeed.
How often do we see that? I mean, that is obviously a decision that I think you have to make as a player. Is how do you approach those final minutes, and how do you keep possession? If you were to say, okay, Joe, you've got 2 minutes left, this is what you need to do, what do you aim for? Do I run towards the corner flag? What's the plan?
We're seeing some different ways. I know there are some players who are actually taking a short corner and then just running back. I mean, it doesn't look so beautiful, but it is a game that we play, and it's the same for everyone. It is a big factor and a big thing in also, let's say, real-life football. There is time wasting, and it is a part of football as a game. But I would say that's usually when you start doing it too early, it will hurt you. I think maybe you could argue if there is any magical time where you actually could start passing it in the back line or switching sides. I would say maybe around the 85th minute if you're feeling very, very pressured. But then when you start doing it, make sure that the opponent doesn't get the ball back. And I think Zimme started maybe a minute too early, and it didn't really do it with let's say, full-hearted.
Yeah. And I think, you know, when you see, okay, I mean, this next pass, we've talked about this a lot today, that it's important that you're not just thinking about the pass that you're going to make, but the one afterwards. I think it's important that you're prepared to just clear the ball, right? To literally just give it full power and get rid of it. Because in that case, it's always going to be better than losing the ball where you are at the back line.
Yeah, but that's what they're trying to do here, that they always going to try to find large goals solutions in the build-up, but sometimes it is going to hurt you. If you're going to go for a build-up where you're going for the passing choices, trying to make a nice build-up, then you also have to be very sure that you're not going to lose the ball, because every time that happens, almost every time at this level, you will get punished. And also we're seeing here that actually August is in the lead at the moment. As we were speaking, he is 1 goal up, and I think also that shows that this late equalizer from August was hurting Zimme mentally.
Oh, he's pushed through there, though, and actually is going to score. Would you believe it? Tied up again at 6 apiece.
Did we ever see Zimme hit the yellow bar?
I don't think so.
In any shot. This is maybe the most accurate time finishing we're seeing in this whole tournament. He's hitting the green bar in every single shot. And that is why August is having big troubles right now, because Zimme is super effective. Every time he gets in front of the goal, and when he shoots, he almost scores every time.
Well, we go back to the drawing board here. 102 minutes gone of extra time. That pass not accurate. Maybe a chance for Zimme to give himself a lead going through after this first half of extra time with our 9. There was the yellow bar that you were talking about. I think we've
there was it, finally.
Managed to curse him on that one, but that was certainly one of the first ones we've seen. Ball swung in, cleared away, but not out of danger just yet, maybe. Actually, Agge may get a last-ditch moment of himself. I don't think he will. I think this one is going to be whistled out to half-time. Or is it? Ronaldinho on this bottom side, and there he is. Surely Henry is going to find the back of the net, and Agge on the stroke of half-time, 107 minutes gone. He's going to regain the lead, 7-6 overall, and we talked about how exciting on paper this game was, Zimme versus Agge, and it is absolutely delivering.
Well, this matchup is surely not disappointing. We can see here also what August did so good. He had a lot of space, he had time to think, and he also had time to wait for Zimme to make the first move. And he took half a second extra. He was waiting for the first step from... all right, so we're actually getting in for that 1 goal didn't count. It's actually 6-6 at the moment. This is crazy, Joe.
Yeah.
What is happening? But yes... August there waiting for the first step from Zimme, waiting for him to open up, and then after that he went for the near post, because that was the space that opened up. So once again, the goalkeeper movement, it's adding a huge mind game to this version of FIFA. But yes, 6-6.
Okay, so let's break this down just to be very, very, very clear. It is 6-6 right now. 1 goal didn't count. Not sure why and what happened there, but I'm sure we can figure that one out afterwards. I'm sure Jimmy and the guys will be able to let us know.
Yeah, this game had everything, really. Yeah. Comebacks, amazing goals, great defense, and also some technical issues, obviously. But at this moment, it is all square. And will we see penalty shootout.
I was going to say
the
the only thing that we've not seen so far is penalties, which we are not far away from here. Only 10 minutes in game left to go or so. Now, well, dispossessed there, Alexandro. Now is Walker. What are we going to do here with Agge on the edge of the box? Again, his trademark build-up. Is he going to pull the trigger? He does pull the trigger, but he saw it was red. It was Neymar into the hands of De Gea.
I'm telling you, if this was Zimme, 100% green bar. And once again, just putting emphasis on the importance of really trying to master the time finishing, because it is something that takes time, but after a while it becomes kind of a reflex, muscle memory. You don't even have to pay attention to the player's feet, because you will just know exactly at which, let's say, time difference between the first tap and the second tap of that shot button. It will just become muscle memory, and when you master it, well, it will help you a lot in your attack.
There's Henry again. Last couple of minutes of extra time. Neymar going to be dispossessed there by Vieira, but a sloppy pass away.
Yeah, he did it like
Zimme
4 times now, just giving away the ball in his build-up. I think he is getting pretty nervous now, and he will give August his last chance.
So close it was there as well, and that surely was the final chance of this one. 2 minutes, of course, added on. Where is the ball going to land? At the feet here of Zimme. No mistakes allowed at this point of things. And it is looking like we are going to be going to decide the next person through to the playoffs into a penalty shootout here between Zimme and Agge. What a game this was.
Absolutely incredible. We saw also towards the end that Zimme was actually getting under big pressure. Something that we didn't mention is August.
Quite sure what was happening because we went there, but we are into the penalty shootout then between Agge and Zimme, and they've both missed their first penalties, interestingly enough. Zimme there taking the lead, now upstepping Agge, and it's saved again. First 2 missed.
Yes, he's looking for info from the head movement, and he was looking left, August, and he also shot left. And he predicted this, Zimme, and he is in a big advantage now. He has to score once again, looking left and shooting left. This time, Zimme thought that he was going to go for a different direction here. Eusebio, he saved it. He had to save it, and now he needs to score here to have a good chance in this 5th round, but he misses it.
I think it was going to hit the post anyway. It was certainly looking pretty wide, and now a chance then for Zimme to win this one, and he's missed it.
No way.
It's saved. It's saved. Can he, though?
He has to score now. August looking left, shooting left. He's left in this. Come on. Let's see this. This is crazy, Joe. Absolutely crazy, and he's saving it again.
Wow.
What is happening? He's reading every penalty kick.
Can he score and win the one here with Pele?
He
does, and after all of that, what a crazy penalty shootout. And, you know, these guys not leaving any time in between for us to even gather any thoughts as to what's going on, but crazy, crazy penalty shootout.
That was crazy, and we saw Zimme making these saves early. I thought that he was paying attention to his head movement, because in FIFA 18 and also 19 you can see kind of how the player is moving his head. If he's looking